Okay, welcome everyone to our latest Q-Hub feature update video. I hope everyone can hear me okay. You should all be able to, and you should all be seeing the Q-Hub new features coming soon page. So what we're going to do in this webinar is we're going to take everyone through a couple of the platform updates and things that are going to be coming to the application next week. We sent a message out on the application banner a couple of weeks ago, explaining some of the new features and what's going to come, but we wanted to give you a kind of sneak peek and help you to understand how certain views are going to change on the platform, so that next week you know exactly what the system is going to look like and how you guys can actually use the new features, which are really, really exciting. So just by way of a recap, the key things that are going to be coming in this update. So we have our new 2FA options that are going to come to the admin panel, which is going to allow you to use Microsoft Authenticator, Google Authenticator, Apple Password, and email for 2FA. Traditionally, our customers have used a process of syncing their accounts with SSO and then managing 2FA from the SSO Microsoft Authenticator side of logging in. But now you'll be able to use 2FA just like any other platform. You can scan the QR code and set up 2FA on your phone direct from Q-Hub. So then we've also got the Microsoft editing. So the long awaited and promised ability to edit Microsoft documents is now here. We've been working with Microsoft for the past year to get approval to get this added to the platform. So to start with, I'll show you how we've added it to the document system, to Doc Hub, and then this will be rolled out into all the other hubs. So you'll be able to create a Word document while you're in a process, or use a template found in Doc Hub and add it into a form for something that you need to fill out. All sorts of things will be available. Then we also have the Audit Hub has been upgraded to Compliance Hub. So over the last couple of years, we've collected all your feedback from talking to different customers and different team members. We have tried to understand a lot of the problems or frustrations with Audit Hub and resolve them, and then it also provides you with a big improvement that will really help make managing your compliance as a business much easier. Not just the audits themselves, the actual management of all of your requirements and how you go about doing that, not just being able to chuck some audits on a schedule and record them. Then we've got our People Hub update. So the People Hub was in beta. Many customers did try People Hub. They gave us some really helpful feedback. And we've been working with a couple in particular to understand what is useful and what needs to be modified. So we have now implemented a lot of that feedback in one big update. So when we release the People Hub on Monday, it will be released to everyone's accounts by default. So if you don't currently have People Hub turned on your account, by default on Monday, it will be available to start using. And we're no longer classing it as in beta stage. It's ready to use and to start working for you all. Just as a reminder, so when it comes to the portals, the portal, we've actually included a little update for the portal users as well. So some of you may be familiar that on the portal page, on the left-hand side, there's some menu options to pick the hub and to pick the portal that you're in. So we had a bit of feedback that we thought we would implement in this update as well, just trying to make that left-hand panel a little bit easier to navigate. So at the moment, I think it says spaces on the left-hand side, and then you pick the portal. Well, now it has an option for the workspaces on the left-hand side, and then a drop-down, and it will show you the workspaces that that portal user has access to. And then the portal selection is separate. But there'll be some pictures going out to show you what that's going to look like. It's a minor change, and it should be a very logical improvement to most of your portal users anyway. It shouldn't cause any disruption. And then finally, the big one that I am particularly very excited for is the AI system that we've now embedded into QHub. So just a quick caveat with AI. So I know many of you and our customers have very tight AI policies and requirements. So when we publish the AI on Monday, when we release this update, by default, everyone's AI system is going to be switched off. So your data, your account, will not touch the AI features that we have built in until you turn it back on. So currently on your account, what the previous or our legacy AI system, you could turn it on, and that meant that you could generate forms, processes, and some other features with AI using OpenAI's or ChatGPT essentially as the engine for generating that content on the platform. But in support of becoming totally UK hosted, and to ensure that we've got residency control and management of any data that we're going to work with you as our customers, we have moved over to Google to be able to host an LLM and to be able to keep the AI infrastructure UK and under our ownership. So for your IT teams, there's going to be a lot more details about that in our new support pages regarding AI. And we're probably going to do a small webinar in a couple of weeks about AI to kind of do a session to help your IT teams and to help your management team understand the impact of using AI in our system. So once we've gone through these updates on the platform itself, we want to talk about some of the upcoming improvements as well. We've been releasing a few new things recently. So we've done a big shift a couple of months ago with the portal to make that easier to manage. Then we released People Hub, which is kind of our final hub as the suite that is QHub. But what we're really focused on for the rest of our roadmap is feedback from our customers and where we believe everyone wants to go with the platform. So you'll see that we understand, we have heard the sort of grumbles and the complaints. We know what the problems are of the platform. So that task visibility and action management, we understand the way the system works at the minute is to drive accountability. So tasks and actions go to a group or a user every time. But in reality, sometimes you want to raise actions or you want work to be listed somewhere, but that doesn't necessarily mean a specific person is going to pick it up straight away. And what this has led to over time is a lot of people's workflows or their personal task lists becoming very cluttered and becoming very difficult to see the wood through the trees. They don't know what's the priority thing they need to do, and it's not very clear. So people end up ignoring the task system and moving into the hubs where they can look directly at the source of the task to see which they want to do. So we're going to resolve all of that in the next suite of updates coming out in hopefully a month or two as well. And then also we understand that notifications and emails do cause frustration and they can be difficult to manage and understand where they fit and work within the platform. So that is the two key tasks that the development team and the project team have started to work on already. And then we've brought in some new skills into the business to improve the interface and upgrade how everything looks, just subtle things, just to make the platform feel and look as modern and world-class as it possibly can. So once that's out of the way, we'll move into KPI Hub. So that will change into Report Hub. It will be upgraded, and that will incorporate the ability to produce reports, so sort of Excel style reports from all of the hubs. So Doc Hub we know has been a request for a very long time, so we're going to make sure that's incorporated into there. It will combine asset and people, and it will also give you the ability to create reports from processes, forms, and tasks as well. as well as creating all the KPIs that you traditionally could. It's just going to be a central place to produce all of the measurements, all the tables, all the data that you want. And then it will also home our new AI reporting features that you can point an AI agent to a specific process like non-conformances or accidents and tell it to analyze the accident reports every month and send out a one-pager to the management team of the problems, or you want a system check every month and you want to highlight the problems that are most likely to sting you on the next upcoming audit. So because you've got all of these things in Q-Hub, all these compliance elements, with the power of AI and all of these things being connected, we can really give you some very fast and insightful information in the coming updates. And then we'll talk about mobile app in a future update, but we are going to be upgrading the mobile app again to give it a boost, to make it easier to work with when there's connectivity problems, and to make it a little bit more streamlined in certain features. And then we'll be adding other improvements along the way. So now I have hopefully not bored everyone to death with the PowerPoint. We will start to look at the real bit that everyone wants to see, which is the updated platform features. So to start with, I'm going to open the account into the admin panel. So you all should be able to see the admin panel. I can see it on my screen. Yep, okay. So to start with, we've added the 2FA section into the main company admin panel, and it's straight away here, 2FA. You've got a simple option to make 2FA mandatory for the business. There's the same approach as SSO. So you can make 2FA mandatory and then exclude people from that list if you've got certain shop floor accounts that 2FA won't be applicable on, or you can make it not mandatory and pick specific people that you do want 2FA to apply to. You set the default 2FA method for the business, and then you'll be able to kick everyone out on their next login. It will ask them to set up 2FA. So there is already in our support center a document that will talk you through how to do 2FA and how to set that up. So it's a very simple feature. In reality, it should be easy to use, and it will be homed in the admin panel. Just a note on the admin panel, the admin panel and infrastructure, the pages are one of the pages that we have flagged to have a visual update, just to make just to group certain features like SSO, 2FA, some access settings into a trust page, and make it a little bit easier to navigate the admin center as well. So that is also coming. So we also have in the admin center our new AI page. Okay, so what we have done is created what we call an AI brain. So this is your AI compliance brain for the business. And because we are so conscious, and we know most, if not all of our customers are very conscious about security and data privacy, the approach that we have taken on your behalf with AI is that it only has access to things by choice, so by inclusion, rather than it has access to everything by default. So there's two stages with AI. The first thing that will happen is you will turn on AI in your company, and then you can go to the security and info page, which will talk you through all of that before this happens. You'll also see your current credit balance, and there'll be some updates about the new token limits per account as well that are going to be released a little bit later. But that's kind of that's similar to what we had before. Different AI features where we use a certain amount of credits, and you can see the history of the credit usage as an admin. So when AI is turned on your account, a few key things are going to happen. So as soon as AI is on, all of the top level information that's held on your account will become visible to AI, which is not May sound like a contradiction to before, but it isn't. So what I mean by that is when you turn AI on, only things like document titles, which documents are tagged, the version of your document, who owns the document, is included in the AI brain, not the document content. So similar to what we have right now with the platform. Also, your form names, your form processes, your audit titles, your audit requirements, your people, activities, and skills, your register names, and some initial or tags and data. So the purpose is, once you turn AI on, everything that you can currently search for in your system when you use the top search bar will now be converted, or we will give it to AI. And when I say give it to AI, it just means that we add it to a collection that AI can then look at in text form, so that you can say to the search bar, so when AI is on, the search bar turns into this, and you can search like you would with Google. I can say, I want to find my high-speed machining, and it will come up with the asset that it thinks matches that. Or we can look at something like employee onboarding, and it's still going to find the employee onboarding process, but now it's also going to find things that it thinks might be related to employee onboarding, like other documents or audits or folders or registers that are related. And this AI search, it has all of the access and permission controls that already exist in the application. So people, if they ask AI a question, like who's had the most disciplinaries this year, they will not be able to see this information unless they have access to that process as per normal. So we have tried to do lots of testing with this to make sure that basically it's impossible for you to be able to access information that you wouldn't be able to without your system. The security document will go into how that works in more detail, but essentially it's as safe as the normal search is as well. So with this search bar, we've added some other cool features with the AI. So you can click the microphone button and you can ask it to search for different things, and then it will spit. I don't think it'll work while I'm on Teams, but you can search or say what you're looking for into it, and then it will find the results from the system. So, oh, there we are. And it's found the AI feature document as well. So that's pretty cool. So our vision is that we know with AI, the way the world is moving is that conversation style interaction or text or speaking is becoming a big part of systems. So we want on your shop floor computers to be able to click a microphone button and say what document or SOP covers this part number in this section, and it just finds it instantly for the shop floor. They click and they can open it. So that kind of ability to find information as quickly as possible is what we are trying to focus on for our customers with the AI search. So that's what's going to happen and be available from the get-go. And when you turn this on, it will also enable you to build forms, processes, audit requirements, templates, registers, and people activities straight away. So turning AI on gives you search, gives you the top level information for your account, and enables certain generational features too, like the AI chat window, where you can ask anything about your system and it will find that information from the data that it's got access to. Now, there's special features come into play when you turn on the AI brain. So when I turn the AI brain on, this is a little bit techie, so it's more for your IT teams, but the benefit and what you guys will want to use it for as quality managers, as health and safety managers, as compliance managers, IT managers, is you will want to make sure that the features that you want to be able to talk with are on the platform. So I might want to be able to talk to my incident process, to my supplier, and my engineering management process. And then I can queue those. So what this means is overnight, our system will convert all of your historic data into a format that now works with AI, so that when you are on a process, on a form, or whatever feature you add, you can actually ask it, how many NCRs have we had from Rolls-Royce this year? And it will find all of the data relevant to that in your NCR process and answer you. Or while you're on an NCR and you're responding to, let's say, an RMA, or you're responding to a supplier corrective action, you can quickly ask the AI button, click the button and say, have we had any incidents regarding this supplier or this product this year so far? Hit it, and now it's got all of that information from that process or that form, again, that user has access to, and it will give that information to them in a chat-based format, and it comes up with links and all sorts of cool stuff. So that is something that we will, in the help guides, explain how it works in more detail. But it's a really, really, really powerful feature, and it will help, hopefully, make your compliance easier, more insightful, and more connected. And it builds the foundation of the future that we want for the platform, which is that you might have ChatGPT, you might have Claude, you might have Microsoft Copilot as your approved system in your business, your approved AI system. So the next stage of what we're doing with AI is we're actually going to be giving other AI platforms like Copilot and Claude and ChatGPT access to Q-Hub data, so that from your Copilot chat, you can say, how many incidents have I had this year regarding broken legs? And it will know where to look in Q-Hub. Q-Hub will give it the right information, and your AIs can actually answer it from that data as well. So across the platform, last little bit with AI, there is now, hopefully some of you will have spotted how great this looks already, the new Compliance Hub. But across the platform, once your AI is on, there is now a host of helpful features. For example, if I go into my new requirements page and I look at planning, we can actually assess the material that is connected to a requirement and the evidence that has been captured from our audits with AI. So it passes all that information, and then it gives an overview and a detailed report. We're still tweaking the format on these couple of features before we release it. But you can see it really breaks down the information that has come from the audits. So for example, this summary, the evidence covered, carried through audits, is all being pulled from the new evidence feature, which is against each requirement. So I can open this evidence and it takes me to where we have last audited. So we have covered these clauses in this audit question. We wrote about how we manage our risks and opportunities. And in the AI, it has actually been able to understand that and then give us a summary about how that evidence works. So as we're here, I will talk to you now about the Audit Hub conversion to Compliance Hub and that update. So a couple of big things that our customers wanted to be able to do with managing audits and compliance. Audits is a very small part of your overall compliance. It's a way to just ensure that what you should be doing is done, isn't it? It's a way to audit it. So what we have done is in the requirements page, this has had a major upgrade. So each requirement that you already have, this will be taken from your existing requirements. So you might have a suite of questions that you've audited. You might have standards that you've already created on the platform itself. So they'll all still be there. It will just look like this. So now when you open your requirement, it will open our requirements table and some statistics across the top, which you can filter by to help you narrow down your audit system. So these are the little requirement bars that were on the application. So if you're on your app now and you go to your requirements in Audit Hub, and you open up a requirement set, you'll just see some basic bars of information which dictate what you're going to describe in the audit and maybe the button style. So you can still manage those. If you click edit, we've got our planning, and I tap on it, and now I can edit the button style, and I can put in details and linked data. Okay, so all the functionality is still there. All we've done is given it a big old boost. So now when you tap on your requirement, so let's say over the past year, you have already done multiple audits using these requirements, which if you're using Audit Hub, you would have done. When you tap on this, it's going to immediately show you all of the evidence that has been captured as part of this requirement. So if you've done 5 different audits over the last 2 years, and at each audit you've audited this requirement once, you will have 5 pieces of evidence that contribute to this requirement. What this means is when you're on an audit with your, when you're being audited and someone says, show me how you manage planning in 9001, you tap on planning. The AI will have hopefully summarized it anyway for you to give you a hand, but you have linked items. So features, documents, processes, forms, anything in the platform that you use to manage that requirement will be connected in here. And then you will also have any evidence to prove how you've done it, all in this single place. You can also ask a question. So I can ask a question. It's connected the chat with the planning feature and all of that data. So then you can say, explain to me how we manage planning, and it will tell you that you use your policies, your processes, and you have this feature and that feature, and this is what it does. So this is the requirement page, okay? So you've got a new feature, linked items. So I can see for context, I've linked it to my integrated management system manual. So it knows that this manual relates to this requirement. I've got some requirement insights. So I can now see how many planned audits, and I can open that and it will take me straight to that. And I can also look at any completed audits and see how many templates this requirement is going to be covered in, and a few other things as well. You can also, finally on this bit, connect requirements together. So many customers have, if not most customers these days, will have more than one standard. So when you're auditing clause 6, you don't want to have to audit clause 6 3 times for 3 different standards. So now you can connect your requirements together, and when you provide evidence for one, it goes as supplementary evidence for the others. And again, you can use AI to help you kind of narrow down how different things are being covered when you do the AI assessments on each requirement. So the requirement page is really about our original intention for it now, which is to be the requirements that the business has. It could be customer requirements like Rolls-Royce. It could be specific industry requirements. It could be ISO standards. It could be NADCAP. It could be process-driven requirements or product requirements that you need to audit. It should be a database of all of the requirements in your business from a compliance perspective. Once we have this, which you guys already will, you'll go to your templates where we have upgraded this massively as well. So what we have done is turned templates into a much more usable feature. So now you can swap between the tile and template view, tile and table view. And now we have a couple of different things that are new. So if I were to open a template, rather than it just opening the box that shows me what I'm going to audit, it's actually opening this template page. So let's say you have a audit template called ISO 9001 clause audit. You can open this template and see all of the audits that have been carried out against this template. You can click to use the template straight away, and you can add it into a specific schedule. So I might want to put this into my integrated ISO schedule, and we're going to plan that in for September, and then we can click done and add the template straight in as well. And you can still click edit the template and it will open our template editing box for you. So templates should be a much more useful place to create your audit checklists, your audit templates, your audit questionnaires would all become QHub audit templates, which leads into the audits themselves that we've upgraded. So at the moment, you can only create an audit by having it external, where you upload a file, or by having an audit against your requirements, where each requirement is a block that you have to go through and audit, which we understand is not how all customers audit. A lot of customers, particularly our larger businesses, they might have process-driven audits, or they could have an audit where they're going to cover multiple standards with more open questions. So what we've done is create some features that are now going to facilitate that and make it much, much easier to build up your audit system as well. So now when you go into add an audit, you have 3 options. You have select your audit requirements, which you can now go through and pick which requirements you'd like to cover, like so. So that's very much the old style. When you pick requirement audit, it's still going to give you, I want to cover this categorically through all the clauses, because that is still a useful audit for gap analysis and other things. However, we have now implemented this feature, which is very cool, question-based audits. So now I can say I actually want to ask questions in my audit, but I want them to be connected to requirements. So when I pick question-based audit, I can now go into manage my questions, and you've got 2 options. You can add questions manually, so you can write in what the question is. You can pick which requirements this question is most likely to cover, and then it creates the question and creates the requirement, like so. Or you can use AI. So if it's turned on, you can click start. You can pick which requirements you want to cover. So let's say, for example, I want to cover planning in ISO 9001, and I also want to cover planning in my 14001 and my 45001. So I've picked planning across the bunch. I now say I want to audit my planning elements across all requirements listed. And I want the questions to be open style, and I only want up to 10 questions. Now, if you've got any existing audit templates, you can just attach those straight in here, and it will use that to help it understand what to do as well. And you can give it some additional guidance for more specific things that you might want to instruct it to ask. Once I click generate, money where my mouth is moment, isn't it now? So once I click generate, what will happen is in the background, it looks at these requirements, it puts it together with some things that we've told the system to do. It sends it to our infrastructure to look at AI. And now, so these are the ones that I created. So ignore these top couple. And now it has created all of our new questions. So we've got risk, hazards, and opportunities, aspects and compliance obligation. How does the organization determine environmental aspects and associated impact? And you see each question and section not only has more information about what you should be asking on the audit, so discuss how objectives are met to try and help those who are auditing. But when you click select requirements, it's predefined which requirements it's going to connect to. So if you imagine you've got your requirement system with multiple standards, and you want to produce an audit that's going to cover 25 different requirements from 3 different standards. So now these questions can be targeted to cover multiple requirements. We click save, and now we've made, if I come back, we've made our question-based audit. You can click a button to generate the audit scope, where it will look at the requirements and your questions, your audit title, and it will write the scope for you. You can tag the audit, and then you can actually plan the audit straight from here too. So what that means is now you have a question audit like this. So if I open one of them and I go into my question-based audit, we now have the audit question at the top. We have a section to add your audit findings. We have a section to capture evidence. So you can upload files or images or pictures or link it to things within the platform as evidence towards this requirement. And then it also tells you for this question, which requirements are being covered. It gives you some notes about what to look for. It will, in future, with the AI, it will actually look at previous audits and these requirements and give you some tips on what to look for as well. And it packages it all into one audit. So we've got question, evidence, covering multiple requirements. We have also upgraded and created a new external audit type. So when I go to my templates, let's say I create an external audit. So let me see if I made one already. Not yet. Let's do it now. So let's say I've got an NQA audit. Actually, I have done this. We'll come back to the external audits. So we also have the scheduling feature. Okay, so the scheduling feature has been upgraded. So the long-awaited, painful Gantt chart component is gone. We now have the upgraded Gantt chart with the ability to swap between timeframes. You'll be able to move and adjust the audits, and you can now also change it into a calendar mode where we can look at the audits in a calendar style as well, so that we can just have easier management of the audit itself. So there's some additional features there, but essentially it's just going to be easier to use, look nicer, and work better when it comes to the audit Gantt charts. And we'll also be adding an export schedule feature to Excel, because we know many customers have said that when they're sharing it with external people like your customers or an auditor, you want to be able to export the audits, which will now be possible. And then finally, with external audits, the new feature. So when you open your external audit and we go to the audit and let's say we start it, you can now upload the auditor's report, drag the auditor's report straight into QHub. And what it's going to do, it's going to create all of the evidence points. So if he's written a Word document, sent you the PDF, you upload it, it will look at when he's described, he's looked at this process or he's walked on this part of the shop floor, and what requirement or ISO standard that covers. It will pick all of that up, and then it will create evidence items against each of the requirements that he's audited. So a few things with that: you have to have the requirements in the system for it to be able to connect it together. But for my tests, it's working really, really well. And it will also auto-build any non-conformances, OFIs, and tasks, and generate an audit summary for you based on what NCRs the report had. So we're trying to basically streamline data coming onto the platform. You get an audit report from NQA or from someone else from NADCAP, you chuck it in QHub, it now adds all that evidence to your system, it raises any NCRs they've told you need to be done, it adds any OFIs, click done, it's now in QHub and can be managed through the processes and forms that you've built to manage those things. So that is more or less the Audit Hub update. There's the audit page now, which comes with the new planner. So you can look at all of your audits across the year or across the month, across a month view. You can change it by schedule to have a look at it in that format. Or we can go to calendar view and we can have a look at agenda style. There's all different types of things just to try and make it as useful as possible with audit management. Later in the year, when we do our integrations sprint, we will be looking to connect these audits to Teams and to Microsoft Teams calls as well, just to get that full system to be tied together. Okay, so now for the last 10 minutes, we are going to talk about People Hub. Okay, so in People Hub, and we will cover the document editing as well. Actually, I will show you. So in People Hub, So the homepage has been upgraded to be more in line with our general app styles. And what we focused on for the admin is the homepage is going to give you information about mainly things that are overdue. So we've got our standard on-time late analysis. We've got the status of all of your activities in People Hub and which activities have the most overdue actions. Okay, and then this will show you by order of due date the activities that are overdue. So once we go to our people page, you'll see all of the people within your business, and it will show you any roles that they're assigned to. It will show you how many activities they require to be done, shows you what percentage of their skills they have covered. It shows you if they've got anything that is expired or expiring, and the last time a review was carried out. When you tap on a person, it will now open a profile page. This profile page has some information. You can chat again with AI about it. And it shows you all of the most recent activities that have happened. So a review was carried out, training was assigned to that person. So this is connecting everything in the platform, all of the activities related to people's compliance in this page. If you click on files, it will show you the certificates that have been uploaded to that person, or any certificates that you upload. So if you send them out to do a crane course or to do a lead auditor course, when they come back and they upload that certificate, it will all be visible in the files page per person. It shows you the activities that this person's been assigned to and the status of them. It will show you the skills the person has with the target and the current level. Also the roles the person has, the review history that you can carry out, and the comments. So I will be doing a specific webinar to cover People Hub in a week's time, which I will give you details of at the end of this. But that, in a nutshell, is people. The activities page has been upgraded to be more useful with tags. When you open, let's say, a specific activity like, let's say, Q-Hub admin training, which you should all be doing. We've got the edit activity. So now you've got training, certification, training actions that need to be done. There's documentation that explains all of this, and we will be providing help guides. We can require a certificate to be uploaded or not uploaded, and we can link it to videos, all sorts of things. You should be able to create all of your training requirements within Q-Hub. And also, if you manage training courses, for example, first aid training, you can create the training courses and allocate who can go on what course. So we're trying to cover all the basics that you need for training and to make it as useful as possible. When it comes to activities, we have started to experiment and connect to iHasco. So I know some of you already, customers, have iHasco for health and safety training. And there will be future integrations. We just wanted to try this one with People Hub straight away. But this should connect to iHasco training courses and then sync up to your people to see what activities they've done on iHasco and show them in Q-Hub as an activity that someone has covered. Okay, so we understand that lots of HR systems and training content platforms will want to be connected to this. So we're already making inroads to make that possible for you guys. And within the People Hub settings, we set up our default skill levels and colors, and a few other things like who can actually manage activities, who can manage training. We've added some more export features like exporting all your certificates off the platform. Lots of helpful things for getting on and off. We also have the skills pages, so you can look at different people. We can look at our jointers. We can see for our jointers what their current level is and what their target level is. And if we open up this person, we can add evidence as to why they are each skill level. And we can also leave comments, all of which will go into that person's profile. So it should be a central place for you to manage everything that's needed related to your people and compliance together. Okay, that is the goal with People Hub. Everything compliance related, not necessarily from an operations, a time stamp, a timing, a clocking in and out. That's for the CISO system, but more so from a compliance perspective. That is the focus of People Hub. We've got competency roles and my favorite feature, which is the activity or the compliance matrix. So from this page, you can filter by group. So I want to look at my engineers, and now I can see all of the training activities that apply to engineers. I can see when things are required, how long they've been valid for, and when you hover over everything, it gives you the information. And if you tap on any of this, it will take you to the required training for that profile as well. The same goes for skills. I can look at my engineers. I can look at how many skills are met versus unmet. We know this should be in the middle in case anyone's spotted. That will be sorted too. And we can also look at the roles as well. So I can see that these people in my engineering group, one is also assigned to my senior management role too. So the goal of this, again, is to bring you information as easily as possible. So for example, if you want to make sure that your Rolls-Royce Sabre document, an approval document, is being managed, or your toolbox talks are being read on time, or a health and safety policy is read by all of your health and safety reps every 3 years, we create an activity. We say an in-app action. I want to know that a certain policy has been read. It needs to be read within 90 days. It expires after 3 years. And that's going to apply to either everyone, or it's going to apply to a specific group. I click done. I need a title. You click create. We add that to the system, and that policy requirement now exists. I can straight away go to my matrix, and if we can see that's been assigned to the engineering group, there it is. They need to do it within the next 90 days. But the system is intelligent. If you have already read and understood a document, if you've already filled out a process or a form, it doesn't resend another one. It says, hey, you've already done this 20 days ago. So you've actually now got a year until you need to do it again. And then if in the Doc Hub, that document changes, you have, and that triggers a read and understood to be sent to someone, the system will pick that up and extend their expiry time by the window that you've set. So we're trying to eliminate any blunders that you might make with skills and activity management on an audit, because the system is a live representation of what is going on. But we will go through this in more detail in another audit, just to help everyone get used to it, because it's a totally new hub rather than an updated hub. But it's all very exciting. So finally, when I go to my document system, when you click add a document, we now have, well, hey, our ability to add a Microsoft Word document, to add an Excel document, to build a PowerPoint. Okay, so if I click to build a Microsoft Word document, it will open Microsoft Word online. I can name my document, so let's call it new policy example. I can name my document. I can start adding information in. And then all you have to do once you're done, just make sure this little bit at the top says saved and close the page down. Then in Doc Hub, we have our new policy. It's already there, ready to go. We can open that document and we see it live in the system. If we want to change it, we can click edit and it opens the document in Microsoft Word. So now there's no more downloading and uploading of your documents, spreadsheets, PowerPoints. You will be able to pick a policy or a document. You can make it once it's in the actual area, bear with me. So let's say we've got a engineering management process. I can go into it during the up issue window, and you can still upload a replacement document because we didn't want people to lose that functionality. Sometimes you might want to download it for whatever reason, or upload a new one because someone's already sent it to you. But you can now just click edit in Microsoft Word. It tells you it's going to open it in a new tab. So this is all part of the up issue. No one else will see the changes we make here. For example, let's call this version 3, Ethan's live test. Make sure it's saved in the top left. So it's saved. I close this down. It won't refresh on this page, but it will refresh auto on your systems. Oh, and it's ironically not worked. There we go. Just needed a moment to pull through. So it pulls the document in. That's the live document. But when I go back to what all the operators are seeing through the portal, the shop floor, they are not going to be seeing this document. They will just see the original engineering management policy. Okay. We can then send it for review. Same old story with the up issue system. You send it for review. It goes off to the review stage, and then your management team can review it, and they can also edit it with Microsoft if they have the right permission and you allow them to do that. It means that we can make Word documents or PowerPoint templates. So if you right click on a document and you say make it a template, you can go into your management section of the Doc Hub, go to your templates, and we might now have an SOP that is an Excel template, or a policy that's a Word document template, or a toolbox talk that's a Word document template, which means that when a person needs to build a new policy, they click template, and they can now pick, or SOP, they can now pick from SOP, and then they can put that in their health and safety or their, let's say, quality folder, click create, and then it sets up the template ready for you to assign it to whoever needs to build it, and they can now build it with Excel. It will also allow you, if you are editing a document, it will allow you to edit 2 documents, or allow multiple people to be editing the same document as well. So if I'm on this engineering management and I click to edit it with Microsoft, and Fred sat next to me clicks edit with Microsoft, you'll join the same session and you can edit the document together. So we wanted to bring that kind of functionality to you, and it made sense to do it within the Microsoft ecosystem. So in summary, guys, there's AI features that are subtly across the application once you turn it on. So there's the main AI chat window. You can see your previous chats. You can create a new chat. There'll be some more details on how the context filters work and knowledge bases and AI brains. We will explain all of that. This is just an overview. There's some AI features built into the application, all using the same secure paths. So if your IT sign it off overall, it's signed off everywhere. And then we have the AI generation features. So you've got, again, the ability to build a QDoc with AI. You can build a form with AI. You can build an audit template with AI. And we are looking, not sure whether it will be released in this update, but to actually be able to build a whole audit schedule with the help of AI. You guide it. You say, I want to cover these requirements. I want these types of questions to be asked. I want it to be over 5 audits, and it creates your whole audit schedule for you, ready for you to tweak and adjust before you release it. So the Compliance Hub should be similar to Audit Hub, just with a little upgrade. And then from a People Hub perspective, there is some new things, but there will be another webinar to cover that in particular. Okay, so when your portal users log in, obviously we've got the home pages. So what we've done is, depending on the portal they're in, they've got the 2 options here underneath homepage now to pick the site homepage. And then below that, we have My Work. So again, this is the same. This will get upgraded with the whole Work Hub update that's going to come next to make it easier to use. But now we have workspaces, and these workspaces are the same workspaces that they see on their homepage that you can manage access to. So it means if they're looking at a document, or they're looking, let's say, for example, they're on a form, now they can jump back into the health and safety dashboard without having to go home and then pick the dashboard again. So that's a small improvement here. Then under the hub section, we've just added drop downs so you can jump to a specific feature more quickly. And now you've got the audit section. We kept it as audits because to the portal users, the majority of the things they will look at is going to be simply audits. They will click the audit section and they can either see it in the new Gantt chart or the list, which will be the audits that they have access to or are assigned to. And if they click findings, the same thing, the findings that they have access or are assigned to. So that's nice and simple and the same. And now if they have People Hub set up, or if you guys have set up People Hub as admins, when your org chart in the admin panel is structured, your portal users, everyone by default will have a profile page, so they can see their own activities, their own certificates, their own skills. But if they are responsible for other people below them within the business, according to the org chart, they will be able to have a My Team section. So we can see that this person manages Steve. So he can open Steve, and then he will be able to assign Steve tasks and also carry out reviews for Steve. Okay, so the goal is that using the team feature and the activity tracker to show managers who are portal users what is coming up for their staff below them. So if portals will have people, their profile, their team's profiles, and an activity tracker for anything related to their team. And just a better homepage layout on the left-hand side. They will all have AI, but remember that will be specifically locked down to what they have access to. And we will work with all of you customers to listen to your feedback on how you may want that to run, or on any issues or improvements that you recommend. As always, we're very much open to feedback when it comes to AI, because we want to know how you guys would like to use it, what's helpful, what's not helpful. So we will be doing some focus groups on AI over the next couple of months, really to nail down how we can give you the most value with the AI system. So we've covered a lot of ground. It's a good job that the meetings are recorded so that you can watch it back in a 0.8 speed, and that everyone can have a look at it. It will also be converted into a transcript, which will be added to our new page, our new support feature. So just to show you, give everyone a little sneak peek. So in hopefully a week or a couple of weeks maximum, we have got a huge update to our QHub website, and we have moved the help center totally to this to our website page. So under our website, we now have all the information about the products that we have, solutions, the industries we service, resources, case studies that some of you may or may not feature on, and then specifically the help center. So from the application, it will take you to this, and this has a library of how all different things work, how the asset hub works, how the audit or compliance hub will work, general FAQs about different things within the platform that you can search for. It's got our security and trust documents for the IT teams. It has the standard contractual terms and clauses. It's going to be a fantastic source of information for all of you to be able to use and go to. So this will be, we'll post when this is live, but just wanted to show you that we know another kind of problem is access to knowledge on how the system works, which is something towards the back end of this year that's going to get better and better and better. So everyone, I would like to say a very, very big thank you for joining the webinar, and in particular, a big thank you for being our customers. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you working with us and your feedback. It helps a lot. And we would like to think that we are building a platform that you guys have an input into that makes it actually useful to use in the day-to-day business and provides you with a lot of value.